Do. Welcome back to Bjjbrick Quick. My name is Byron. This is the podcast where we talk about a topic, jiu-jitsu related, for just a little while. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how I have avoided getting injured for so long. Because I train in the kids class. Just kidding. This is a very important topic here. And to make it as simple as possible, I can't get injured. I am a firefighter, and if my arm is in a cast or I'm on crutches, I can't do my job. I've been a firefighter since 2008, and I have not missed a day of work from an injury on jiu-jitsu. Think about that, and maybe your job is not requiring you to have full use of your body, but you still want to take good care of yourself. You only get one body, and we're all going to get old, hopefully. Hopefully we get there. It's part of the process. But I don't want to be an old man, and maybe I am now, but I don't want to be 90. If I make it to 100, I don't know, maybe get to 80, who knows? And look back at the years I did jiu-jitsu, and if I'm not, maybe I'm still doing it then, and look back and say, man, I wish I didn't do that to my hands. Man, I wish I had good knees. You have to think about that, that old person that's going to be you someday. Are you screwing them over by the way you train jiu-jitsu? So it's not just my job, it's also the old Byron I'm trying to protect. So how do I do it? Well, I do train hard, and I get tough rounds in, and I train 2 or 3 times a week, I would say. Some weeks, if I got 4, that's a lot for me. But the main thing I do is I take responsibility for all of my injuries. And that might sound ridiculous at first because, having been... I've never had surgery from jiu-jitsu. My biggest injury is I have a dislocated rib that still pokes out, which is semi-common in some grapplers. But that's my biggest injury. I've dealt with lower back pains from grappling. Not anymore. Done with that. That's about it. So I take full responsibility for all of my injuries on the mats. So if I'm rolling with Joe, I get a feeling that Joe would rather tap me out and injure me than have a round that didn't resolve in a tap. I need to talk to Joe about that. Like, Joe, man, I really don't want to get injured. I feel like you're a little bit reckless. And that might be a difficult conversation to have, but what happens is I just don't roll with Joe if I can't have that conversation with him. It's my responsibility. And I'm not trying to talk bad about Joe. I'm just using him as an example. But if I don't feel like my training partners have my safety on, one of the top things on their mind, they're not a good training partner. Safety is huge. And you'll notice this when a lot of times I train in a room that's pretty crowded, and we'll get close to another training, group, a partner. We're here and they're right next to us. Do we pause and move, or do we keep rolling because I'm close to something and I want to get that pass or that submission? The right answer is to move to a safe location. Not most of the time, not depending on the situation, is to be safe. That's my answer. That's my zero injury answer. If I'm doing takedowns with somebody, which I'm not particularly great at takedowns, if they pick me up, are they going to slam me on my head? Not going to roll with that person. If you don't care, if I get hurt, I don't care to roll with you. And I don't care about, I keep saying I don't care. It doesn't matter to me if you're new or if you're experienced. Most new people don't have the ability to injure me. But I also don't want to roll with them if I'm of so little concern to them. Because it would look like, so ultimately, if I roll with somebody and they could care less about me, I'm going to end up in a dominant position and we're going to stay there, which is not a fun roll. So it's just, I think it's setting the expectations with your training partners is a big one. It's avoiding people who are reckless. It's avoiding doing things that cause me to get injured. If you were to ask me when I was a brown belt, what's my best submission? I would have said, without any question, triangle choke. That's my best submission. I don't triangle choke anymore because every now and then I would tweak my lower back during their escape. And it just wasn't worth having a sore back. And I don't know what that's going to lead to in the future. So I changed my game. I quit doing my best technique. It's off the table. And I found things that let me train without getting injured or hurt. There's definitely a difference between getting hurt or injured. We're all going to get hurt. We're all going to get bruises. We're all going to get banged up a little bit sometimes. That happens. Injured, where you go to the doctor and they tell you the bad news. I'm not doing that. I haven't done that. And if you train with me and you don't care about my health and safety, we're not training partners anymore. And that's super rare. I'm trying to think of a list of people who I don't train with. Maybe 2 or 3 out of 50. It's not a common thing. And I think jiu-jitsu is pretty safe with that. But I also, not being selective, and then also being selective with the things that I do is important. If you're doing a Kimura on me, I tap before I feel any pressure. I'm nervous of my shoulders. I don't have very flexible shoulders, and I know the Kimuras are a high injury rate. We're good. I can't remember the last time I felt somebody crank a Kimura on me. Not because I don't get Kimura'd, because I tap too early. And I know my Kimura escapes are lacking because I don't try to escape to the last second. Who cares? I shouldn't have been caught in that position. Why am I letting you Kimura my arm with that grip? That's a failure right there. So I tap earlier. I train with people who care about me. Safety is a big concern. I haven't been injured I've never had to have surgery from jiu-jitsu. Hopefully won't. And I do know freak accidents happen. But even that, I'll be responsible for. If you train with jerks, you're responsible for that. Train with somebody who's not a jerk to you. Own all of your injuries, and they'll go away almost entirely. That's what I've got for you today. If you'd like to comment on this, and I know a lot of people are out there like, that's totally stupid. I trained with John, and he wrecked me, and it sucked. He injured me. I sent me to the hospital, whatever. Like, well, could you have predicted that he didn't care about you? Shouldn't train with that person. They should have a conversation with that person about their attitude towards their training partners. Anyway, I'd like to hear what you guys think about this concept. Are you willing to adopt it, or am I being a big wimp and avoiding my injuries? I can't imagine. I don't know how that's wimpy. It's training smart. You have to maintain your body. Anyway, I'd like to hear from you. Comment on the episode at Facebook when it up there on this particular episode. Do you have a topic that you would like me to cover? Send it to bjbrick@gmail.com. Bjbrick full episodes are Patreon supported, and I'm greatly appreciative for those. The quick episodes are on the house. There's too many of them to ask you guys to pitch in $1. Until next time, stay sweaty, my friends.